Okay. Um, Let me see. All right. Good evening. Welcome to my channel, my network channel, Geodatech Networkers. Networkers. Every week we upload. On okay. So every week we upload networking architecture on our channel. We twin we twin network. Okay. Between network colleagues on the job, new trainers at our network institute. In our last class, if you see the video, we configured these two routers, VPN on these two routers, assuming this branch is in London and this is in Abeokuta. We ensure that we configure the routers, the VPN across the routers, and this system in London was able to connect to the system here in Abeokuta using static route in our last lecture. Today, we will be configuring this architecture using AIGRP. We'll be configuring it using AIGRP. So the expectation is that at the end you bring up your simulation tools, you practicalize this, and you are able to follow the class. Thank you. So let's start the class. This is the head office. Yeah. So this is the head office router. This is the branch router. Let's power it up. This is the head office server. Okay. And this is the head office. This is the branch system. So let me wipe off this laptop. There's, there are some configurations on it before. Let me do the same also to this server. Okay. All right. All right. So we are ready to start today's class. All right. So when you power up your router, this is what it gives you. Press no. We do same also to this branch router. Okay. So now this router is booting. Follow the last class. If this is the first time joining, I will say you should check the last video to know what it means. So the first thing we do is that we want to change this router host name from this to the viewing head office. So you do host name and you enter the name of your router to change the host name. So from what we've done here, we've changed the host name of this router. The next thing to do is to assign an IP address to this interface 0/2. We are building on the previous class IP address. Let's assign 2.2.2.22 to this interface /0, that is /24. So you do a no shutdown this interface because by default all the interfaces are administratively down. So you can see that it's up now, this particular interface. So the next thing we do now is to configure the branch interface, okay, which is this interface here. So this interface is e2/1. But before that, let's configure the host name. Okay, enable host name branch, exit. So what is the interface? E21. Yes, interface e2/1. No short. IP address. We gave this interface 2.2.2.22. So let's give the branch 2.2.2.23. Okay, 45.255.255.0. Okay. So now what we've done here is that if we try to ping the head office, which is 2.2.2.22, let's see if it's going to respond. Yes. So there's switchability. Okay. This branch router can ping this other router. Okay. And also, if we try to, from the branch office, if we initiate a ping to the branch office, full connectivity has been established. Okay, so now last class, like I mentioned earlier on, we used a static route. So now what we are configuring this topology using a GRE tunnel. There are a lot of VPNs. So VPNs are virtual private network used to connect two sites, logical sites together. You have your head office in Lagos, your branches is in Abuja, Ibadan, whatsoever. What you need to have is to have two routers physically at the two sides. Okay, the form is a form of VPN. There are a lot of VPNs, thousands of VPNs. Okay, but the one we are today is GRE tunnel using IPsec. Yep. So on this head office now, I'm configuring interface tunnel one, which can be anything. Okay, so we give it an IP address. So let's have IP address. So it's on this tunnel that the traffic from this server is going to go through and access the other server, and the server also is going to give a feedback also to this server. 5.5.5. Let's give these two. Okay. Um, let's give this dot 0/24 for this guy here, right? So now that is the tunnel IP address. So we now do tunnel source. The tunnel source is this interface E0/2. E0/2, or you can represent it by with the IP address. Tunnel source, you put the IP address of this interface. And the next thing will be the tunnel destination. Remember, E is the tunnel source. The tunnel destination will be the IP address of this interface. And that IP address is branch E21. What IP address is that? E21 we assign 2.2.2.23. Okay, so here we put 2.2.2.23. Okay, now we will do the same thing we've done here to the other router. So here is 5.2.5.5.5.2. We give this interface 5.5.5.3. Okay, so this can be, you can call it anything. So the 3 or 2 is just an identifier. They'll give it IP address 5.5.5.3. Since this guy is .2, okay, they must be on the same subnet actually. .0, okay. So now tunnel source of this branch will be E2 slash 1, okay. E2 slash 1, E2 slash 1. Tunnel destination will be the IP address of this E2, E02 rather, on the head of it. So let's see the IP address that was assigned there. So I have a command to check that, show IP interface with E02, so 2.2.2.22. Okay, so the tunnel destination here will be 2.2.2.22. Okay, so what we've done here, let me expand this screen. Okay, is that if I should run show IP interface brief again, right, you discover that this is the physical IP address that was assigned by the service, that was given to us by the service provider, MAN1, 21st century, IPNX, VDT, or whatsoever. And this is the main, okay? 5.5.5.2 is the tunnel where traffic is going to be routed securely from this server to this server. Okay. Also, if we try to ping 5.5.5.3, which is the other end of the tunnel, that is switchable, the same behavior, to just confirmation purpose before we proceed to the next step, so that you can know where there is an issue in terms of troubleshooting. Okay. Um, 23 is up. So if you try to ping the other way around, 5.5.5.2. All right, good. So now, all what we have done, the main essence of what we have done is for these systems to be able to communicate, right? So now, VPC4 is for the head office, and I think, have I configured an IP address? Okay, so there's no IP address. So to configure an IP address, okay, for on a VPC, if it's a Windows server, just you come to if it's a Windows server you are making use of, you come here, okay. Um, you come to Ethernet, you come to change adapter options, you come to your internet, right? So you come here, then you come to IPv4, okay, and you assign your IP address. So this is the NIC of my own system. But since it's a simulation we are doing, a simulation to configure this VC, okay, we assign the head office server IP um, 172 26 dot let's say 12, okay, slash 24, and now specify the gateway 6.254. Okay, so what we've done for this particular system here is that, so let's do show IP to confirm what we've done. Is that we said this particular system, the IP address is 172.26.12, right? And the gateway for it to be able to come out from this network is 172.26.254. Quickly, what we will do is that we will assign this 6.254 on this interface. Remember, we only assign an IP address to this interface. So we assign an IP address to this interface, which is um, 6.254 on E01. So let's go to the head office router and configure the gateway on that interface. So we do config interface E0/1, okay. IP address 172.26.254.5.255.255.0. So in our class, in our YouTube channel, what we'll be doing is I will be dropping, breaking down the networking simulation tools in bits, and by the time you are able to go through all the bit videos, you should be able to grab um, the elementary networking tools. So now, since we've already, then you do a no shot. Remember, the interfaces are administratively shut down. So you can see it has come up. So if we should come back to this VPC system that we've done and attempt to ping the gateway, okay, 254, we will see that it's responding. Okay, so this means that the beauty about networking is that you want to see that it's responding, not timeout. Timeout means that it's not reachable. Okay, so having done this, right, we quickly also come to the branch server. Okay, we come to the branch server. We come to the branch server. Also, IP and assign this 172.19, let's say 4.100. Okay, then you give it um will assign a gateway. So the two important is that you need to, what we've done in this diagram is a design. So you must have gotten the network design, put your IP address here, okay. Then before you now start configuring. So here, if you are trying to ping your gateway, let's see if it's going to respond. It's not going to respond because it's unreachable, because this server does not know how to get out. Okay, so now what we need to do now is to come to this branch E00 and configure the gateway, which is this guy for the phone, and we'll come back and see if the ping will be responding or it will not be responding. So let's come to E00. Yep. Okay, to configure interface E0/0. Okay, you do a new shot, bring up the interface, and you apply the IP 172.19.4.4. Okay, 255, 255, 255. We take subnetting as a topic on its own, an IP address on a topic on its own in a class. So now let's come back to the VPC3, which is the server for the branch. Let's see if it's going to respond this time around. So you can see now that it's responding because the gateway that was assigned on the server has been assigned on the router. So the router is actually the gateway in this scenario. Now, lastly, what we want to now do, don't forget, is that these two servers, 172.20 6.12, should be able to reach this server 172.19 4.100, and 4.100 also vice versa should be able to reach this guy. So now let's come back to the head office router and confirm some statements. So here, if you do show IP route tells you the route that you are learning. It tells you the route you are learning. Okay, so 172.26.254 is the gateway of this server. Okay, um, so what we do, you can see now that the server over here is 172.19.4.100. This server, this router, sorry, the head office router does not know anything about that subnet. So what we do now is that in the last class we configured static route. Okay, we configured static route in the last class. Now we want to configure AIGRP. Okay, so go to the last class to check the last video to check how static route has been done. So in this class, we will be configuring um, Eigrp. So there are various protocols that you can use to route your traffic, how to advertise your traffic. I mean, you can use static route, you can use OSPF, you can use Eigrp. So we'll be focusing on Eigrp today. So to configure Eigrp, you do router Eigrp 79. And remember, any number that you are creating on this router must be the same that you'll be creating on the next router. So when we get to the next router also, we create router Eigrp 79 and not 80 specifically. So here, what we will do now is that the network on this router, on this head office router is network 5.5.5.2, okay, 0.0.0.0, meaning that all the network, and we will be advertising the server, which is 172.26 dot, I think 12. Let's confirm 6.12. Yes, 6.12. So this, right? Now remember what we created here is router ESGF 79. We advertise the tunnel IP address on tunnel 1, okay, on this router, and we also advertise the server. So meaning that any server, any router that we go and configure router EIGRP 79 and we advertise the subnet, we know about 6.12. So let's configure the same thing also on this branch router. Router EIGRP 79. See what is going to happen. Okay, 79. We are going to configure the tunnel 5.5. 1 minute. Let me confirm. Okay, 5.5.2. Yes, that is correct. So now here we configure 5.5. Network 5.5.3, 5.3, 0.0.0.0. Okay. Then we also see immediately advertise the tunnel IP address. It says 5.5.2, which is the head office, has been formed. So it has recognized that it has learned the subnet of the other router, which is the head office. So if you go to the head office also, you can see that the same behavior. It has learned the tunnel IP address of the other branch. Okay, and don't forget, don't be carried away. There is need to advertise the server behind the branch network, which is 4.100. Okay, so now if you come back to head office, remember we ran a command earlier on. We did show IP route, okay, right? So now you will see that this head office router is learning this subnet 172.19.4.0, which is part of 4.100, which is I'm on this router now, right? And the server on the branch is 4.0, which is 4.100. It's learning it via 21. Okay. Also, if you should come to branch, remember this is the branch, and the server here is 172.26.12. So let's see if this router in the branch is going to learn, yeah. So you can see here, it's learning 172, it's learning the branch, the head office server through Eigrp. So if you check here, you can see the meaning of all what this is Eigrp. Okay, C means connected. L, let's see what L means. IS. Okay, basically. All right. So now, if we should come to PVC4, who is PVC4 now? PVC4 is the head office router. Okay, is the head office router. Let's see if it's going to be able to ping the branch server. So head office system is able to ping the branch server. Location is not the problem anymore. Okay, so the resources on this guy can be accessed from this guy and vice versa. So from the branch system, let's see if it will be able to ping SCP is able to ping the head office system. It's able to ping the head office system. So this is Eigrp. I think you I want to believe that you understand, and if you don't understand, and if you have any question, feel free to drop on the chat below. I will be so glad to answer your questions. We are training institutes. We do online training. Get a course to us. I'll be so glad to teach you to understand and make you self-development to stand on your own. Thank you.